This is Property Source Radio, believe it or not, 222-6397. I'm Brenna Hartman, the Fixie Chick. We are live from High Falls, Rochester, and we've got open lines. Our guests today are Tony Hettinger and Christina Jewell of Invisble Fence of Upstate New York. Christina's decided she's learning so much, she's just going to sit and listen, so that's okay. We're going to interview Tony a little bit. Tell us what your number one selling solution is for pets. You said that there's a couple different, you did a survey and you got some different pet management behavior issues that came up, in a different, in a listing priority wise. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, there's several behaviors outside of the containment that we've identified that 80% of all dogs that are really surrendered to shelters or given up are due to correctable behavioral issues. And the number one being barking. Barking is the number one behavioral issue that people have problems with.
Okay.
And we have several lines of bark control products, solutions as we call them, that can help minimize the barking. Barking, you're never going to get an animal to totally stop barking because that's their form of communication. Mm-hmm. But we can minimize the nuisance barking. I have a beagle, and I want him to bark at certain situations when I'm not at home, and my kids are home alone, or when somebody pulls in, things of that nature. I want him to be able to bark, and the solution will not damper those barks, but the nuisance barking. And if you're an animal or a dog person, you know the difference between a territorial bark and a nuisance bark.
Yeah.
So we were able to the computers on the collars can identify the nuisance barking and take care of those.
I'm going to need that too. How much is my bill going to be here?
We'll just keep adding up your bill.
I'm going to need that too.
Load the van up, Tony, and give her everything, one of everything.
We're joined in the studio by our resident pet experts from Invisble Fence brand. I do want to give out the website real quick. That's invisblefence.com. You can give them a call at 271-1700 if you have any questions that we didn't cover on today's show. They're happy to take your calls and come out and do a free consultation. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, good. We were talking about barking being an issue, and you have several bark control products, but we also have the issue of the jumping. So this would be when someone comes to the door, for example, and you have a Rottweiler knock somebody down, right?
Jumping on people, jumping on cars, jumping on furniture.
Oh, furniture.
Yeah, those kinds of items that a lot of people don't think about, but...
How about cats jumping on the counter?
Cats jumping on the counter, yes.
So you have a solution for that. Can you real quick, briefly tell us how that solution works?
Again, the best thing about this is we don't have one solution for every particular one. Let's say jumping, we have probably 5 to 8 different solutions that we can use. And that's part of what we do is we come out, we evaluate your house and your lifestyle and take a look at what's going on. And then we can formulate a solution that's best fit for you and your pet. Because there's not just one for each specific behavior. Mm-hmm. But again, you can use the portable discs that we talked about, or you can use handheld remotes that we talked about. Mm-hmm. So there's 3 or 4 different ones that we use primarily, but we try not to limit it to just one.
And what we're talking about, folks, is with Invisble Fence, this is in addition to the pet containment products that they offer. And we were talking a little about, being Property Source Radio and having a real estate show here, and just the added value that having an invisible fence as opposed to having to put up a stockade or a wood fence, and the cost as well. And the fact that it doesn't take away from the appearance of the home. Mm-hmm. So those are all really good points to make if you're talking about containment. And then we were getting a little bit more into some of the other solutions away from the containment, so to speak, like house soiling. How would you deal with that with Invisble Fence?
Right off the top, I would say we would use the wireless crates, which we talked about earlier for the cat, or we have access doors where we could have an access door so that the dog could go outside without having to have somebody open the door for him, so they can go in and out as their collar lets them, opens the door, lets them out, comes back, collar opens the door, lets them back in.
Oh.
There's that method.
That's cool.
That's really cool. And it only opens up for your dogs. Or your animals, so
so the raccoon won't be.
The raccoon will not be able to come in
unless Tony gives the raccoon a collar. So
which
the
can
chip
be
is
done, from what I understand.
Right, yeah, put it on the raccoon. I dare you. So the chip basically is programmed per. You can modify each one. So if I've got 5 dogs, I can put 5 different codes on it, for
Yes.
example. So that's why you say my own dog is the only one going to open that door.
Yes, every
Okay.
every collar has its own chip and will be programmed to that specific door.
Cool. That's nice. Technology is cool nowadays. Now I was going to just touch really quick on the added value, Brenda, if I could.
I suppose.
Yes, they're definitely invisible fences. You can't see them, and I believe it would help the resale of the home. I mean, I'm the resident expert in real estate. I think it would add value to the home because it's resale. Hey, look, it's got a free invisible fence thrown in.
Well, you must know some statistics. How many people have a pet that could, benefit from having invisible fence? Is there any statistics out there? I mean, it seems like the majority of families that I know.
60% of the population has pets.
60%.
60%.
That's a lot.
So
How?
when you're selling your house, 60% of your potential buyers are going to benefit from having this
Mhm.
type of an installation.
Yes, that's cool.
Good
How
to
about
know.
I heard the commercial, and I want to criticize that if I could. If you could answer me this. It said
Criticize?
the commercial says 1/10 of the cost of regular fencing. Really? I mean, how does that work, Tony? I mean, is it really that 1/10 of the cost? I don't know. I never
there's
priced
no-
this stuff out,
I would think. I mean, there's no, I think it's green because you're not putting all these materials, cutting down
Oh,
trees and getting
yeah.
wood and
And pressure treated wood, which
all
is all
that-
got that stuff in it, strychnine or whatever, isn't it?
We are definitely probably 1/10 of a traditional stockade or chain link fence for sure.
Okay.
I usually price it out once or twice a year to compare, but traditionally, yeah, we are relatively inexpensive compared to any kind of physical fence.
Okay.
And in
it's-
fact, I think we are probably green, other than maybe a couple of items.
And it seems
Yeah.
to me like environmentally friendly as well. So you go, Tony.
We try.
All right. I love that. InvisibleFence.com, folks, 271-1700. If you have any questions about some of the pet management solutions available through your largest independent nationwide dealer, Invisible Fence brand, right here of upstate New York in our hometown. Isn't that exciting? You must be so excited. You won the National Dealer of the Year award.
4 years in a row.
4 years
to be
in a
correct,
row.
not to be too arrogant.
High
about
five.
it,
High five on the air.
Congratulations.
but, we have
There's a woohoo.
Yeah. Our staff takes that really to heart, and they don't want to give it up without a fight. So
That's
it's
excellent.
it's nice that not just myself, but my staff of 35 people fight to retain that title every single day. So